You know, in our digital world, there are locks and keys, there are walls and secret passages, and yeah, there are people who spend their entire lives learning how to break in. But here's the thing, not all of them are the villains you see in movies. In fact, some of them are the very people who hold the keys to protecting everything we do online. So today, let's dive into the fascinating world of ethical hacking.
Let me ask you something. How do you stop a master bank robber? I mean, a real pro. Someone who knows every single weakness in every vault ever made. Do you just, build thicker walls and just kind of cross your fingers?
No way. The real answer is you hire your own master locksmith. You get someone to think, act, and attack that vault just like the robber would. Why? So you can find all the flaws before they do. And that right there is exactly what an ethical hacker does in the digital world.
Now, the word hacker gets thrown around all the time, right? But it's not one size fits all. The digital world has its heroes, its villains, and a whole lot of people in between. To really get what's going on, you've got to know the players. So on one side, you've got your classic villains, the black hats. You might also hear them called crackers. Their motive is pretty straightforward. It's malicious. They're after money, data, or they just want to cause chaos. And the most important part, they do it all with zero permission. Then on the other side, you have the heroes of our story, the white hats. They're often called penetration testers, and their goal is purely defensive. They have explicit, legal permission from the owner of a system to find its weaknesses and help get them fixed.
And of course, it's not always so black and white. There's a big gray area. You've got gray hats who might find a vulnerability without asking first, but their goal is to warn the company, not to cause harm. Then there are script kiddies. These are amateurs, basically using hacking tools or scripts that they downloaded, often without really understanding how they work. And then you get into some really interesting groups, like hacktivists, who are driven by a political or social cause, and even state-sponsored hackers, who are essentially digital soldiers working for a government. It's a really complex landscape out there.
Okay, so regardless of their motivation, whether they're a black hat, a white hat, or somewhere in between, skilled attackers don't just guess. They don't randomly poke around. No, they follow a plan, a step-by-step playbook designed to get them from the outside all the way into their final objective.
And a huge part of that playbook is right here. This is called the cyber kill chain. It's a 7-step framework that security pros use to map out exactly how an attack unfolds, from the very first thought to the final goal. It's the whole shebang. So let's walk through it.
So the first 3 steps are really all about preparation. It's like casing the joint. Let's say the target is a company's finance department. Step 1, reconnaissance. The attacker is on LinkedIn, just scraping employee names and job titles. Step 2, weaponization. They create a fake invoice, a PDF or a Word doc, and they embed a nasty bit of code inside. And then step 3, delivery. They send that fake invoice in an email to the finance team, just hoping someone clicks on it. And that brings us to the moment of truth, the breach itself. Exploitation. That's the instant an employee clicks on that fake invoice. The weapon goes off, it finds a weakness in their software, and boom, the attacker is in. But they don't stop there. Right away, they move to installation. This is where they plant their malware, creating a secret backdoor so they can come and go as they please without anyone knowing.
The final 2 steps are where the real damage happens. Step 6 is command and control. That little piece of malware phones home, opening up a secret channel that gives the attacker remote control over the infected computer. And finally, step 7, actions on objectives. This is the end game. For our finance department example, this is where the attacker starts silently copying financial data, or maybe they deploy ransomware and lock everything up. This is what the whole attack was building towards.
Okay, so we've just walked through the attacker's playbook. It's methodical, it's scary, and it's effective. But here's where it gets really interesting. The defenders, the white hats, they use this exact same playbook to build an even stronger defense.
This quote right here really gets to the absolute heart of ethical hacking. It is just not enough to sit back and wait for attacks to happen. If you want to build a truly secure system, you have to be proactive. You have to hunt for your own weaknesses using the exact same mindset and the exact same tools as your enemies.
And that leads us right to the official definition. Ethical hacking is using the attacker's own playbook against your own systems. But I want you to notice that one key phrase in there, with the permission of the system owner. That consent, that single piece, is the bright, shining line that separates a white hat from a black hat. It's the difference between a security test and a crime.
So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, an ethical hacker's job is basically to be a professional pessimist. They get hired to launch simulated attacks, and they follow that same cyber kill chain we just looked at. They'll search for weaknesses, they'll try to trick employees, they'll try to break through the defenses, all to see just how far they can get. Their whole goal is to give the company a true attacker's eye view of their own systems, point out all the holes, and then hand them a clear roadmap on how to fix them. And of course, they do it all completely legally and transparently.
Okay, so we're hiring these experts to think like criminals and to attack our own stuff. But what's the end goal here? What kind of defense are we actually trying to build with all this?
This right here is the absolute key to modern security. The old idea of building a single, perfect, impenetrable perimeter, like a digital castle wall, that's totally obsolete now. The goal isn't to build one perfect wall, it's to build lots of layers of defense, one right behind the other. This strategy, as you can see right here, is called defense in depth. Look at all those different layers. You've got security for the data itself, then for the apps, for the internal network, and on, all the way out to the physical building. The idea is, if an attacker somehow manages to get past one layer, they immediately run into another one. An ethical hacker's job is to test every single one of these layers to make sure they're all as tough as they can possibly be.
So we're constantly working to make our digital fortresses stronger, using the attacker's own tactics against them. But this brings up one last, really big question. In this world of super complex systems and, well, human beings, what if the biggest threats aren't the ones trying to break in from the outside? What if they're already inside the walls? Now that is the kind of challenge that keeps security professionals up at night.